Hello and welcome everyone to our second video lecture of microbes in human welfare. Students, we have done the first one, and in the first one we have spoken about the different types of microbes. We have went into the details, how the microbes are used in different household products as well as industrial products. One of the most important thing that we studied was curd. Curd contains what? Millions and millions of lactobacillus bacteria. And what is the importance of curd? All that we have studied. We have studied how the different enzymes or how the different substances that are extracted from the microbes that are used in the form of in detergents which are used to clear up juices. We have studied so many things. In today's lecture, we are going to study about bioactive molecules, and we are going to finish up with the sewage treatment plant. So let me start first with the bioactive molecules. We are going to do a few. I'm going to give you a few details and extra points on the bioactive molecules. The first one that you can see on the board, I have written here streptokinase. Streptokinase is a bioactive molecule. Okay, it's a bioactive molecule. It is produced from whom? From the bacteria what? Streptococcus bacteria. Okay, it is produced from Streptococcus bacteria. Now, what is the importance of streptokinase? See, I'm sure you must have studied. It's a 1-mark question for your board examination, but see how it comes for your competitive examination. See, you study that it's a clot buster. Okay, now what do you mean by clot buster? First, okay, see here. Now, our body is made up of blood vessels. Okay, our body, we all know that closed circulatory system. Imagine this is a blood vessel. Okay, certain impurities are flowing in our blood. Our blood not only carries carbon dioxide, but it carries oxygen. Not only carbon dioxide and oxygen, but other components are also present in the blood. Due to some anomalies, what happens here is that some clots start forming here, like a plug. It's like a plug. It's like you can say this is a clot, we call it, but you can say it as a plug. Alright, it's like a obstruction. So, as it is growing bigger and bigger, the flow of blood is what? Obstructed. Can you see? The flow of blood is obstructed at this point. The blood has to go like this and then flow. Can you see the flow of blood is being obstructed at this point? Alright, so this generally happens. But what happens here is that most of the time when we eat a lot of fat, sometimes due to fat, there are certain cholesterol accumulations, some fat accumulations in our blood vessels. However, okay, to avoid such clots or such plugs, the blood vessels, see, structural organization, I'm very sure you all remember, okay, epithelium, yes. The epithelium of the blood vessels, what are they called as? Endothelium. See, epithelium of blood vessels, what are they called as? Endothelium. The endothelium produces a natural substance or natural product that removes this cloth. Okay? The endothelium, in case there is a plug or a clot formation in our blood vessels, minute clot formation, the endothelium of blood vessels will produce, okay, endothelium cells of blood vessels will produce a type of product or will produce a type of substance which is called as the TPA. Okay, TPA, or it is called as, that means tissue plasminogen activator. Okay, plasminogen activator, TPA. TPA will dissolve What is the function of the TPA? It dissolves the clot that is formed in the blood vessel. However, at certain times there are huge clots which are formed in the blood vessels, and these can be removed only with the help of certain medicines or some treatment operations, going into surgical operations. But what happens here? Now what they have done, artificially they have prepared this TPA by extracting certain substances from Streptococcus bacteria and calling it as streptokinase. Streptokinase is given to the patient with clot formation in the vessel to dissolve the clot. That is why the streptokinase is called as a clot buster. Is this clear? Now here what you're going to remember, please remember TPA, tissue plasminogen activator, is an important point for your NEET examination. Very important point. It comes, where is TPA produced? It is produced in the endothelium. Okay, that is endothelium cells of capillaries. The capillary epithelium of the capillaries are called as endothelium. Where it is produced? It is produced in the endothelium of the blood vessels. Is this clear? Yes? Okay. So now we will go to the next bioactive molecule. Now we are going to study the second bioactive molecule. Okay, the second bioactive molecule is what? Cyclosporin A. See, I have underlined here cyclosporin A, and it is produced from Trichoderma polysporum, which is a fungus. You have to remember this, the name you have to remember. Cyclosporin A is produced by a fungus, name what? Yes, Trichoderma what? Polysporum. Okay, so don't forget it. There's another one you must have studied in your, you'll be studying in your 12th practical exam, Trichoderma rubrum. That is the one that causes ringworms. You'll have the ring-like structure, it will be itchy and it will be you'll have burning sensation, that is ringworm. Okay, Trichoderma rubrum. You'll be studying that in your practical. Now this is Trichoderma polysporum, which is a fungus. Okay, and it is used to produce a type of drug. Now before I explain you what this drug is, let me tell you one important thing. See, you have to understand this concept. Okay, if a person's organ fails, okay baby, kidney, the person's kidney is not functioning. Okay, and you know kidneys are important. They have to filter the blood, right? Dialysis or anything, if no filtration of the blood is done, if the body does not filter the blood naturally, then it has to go for dialysis. Extreme cases when there is kidney failure. Okay, extreme cases when there is kidney failure, the people have, they've said, the doctor said, okay, now see, this person has to go for organ transplantation. That means his organ which is damaged, he has to remove this, and he has to, he has to take, he has to transfer a healthy organ in his body. Okay, so there are many, you will get cadaver donors, you will get many donors are there, kidney donors you will have, and now organs are available, and from the donors they give like that to people who have lost their organs or in malfunctioning or any other due to accident, anything. So what happens here, suppose a person's kidney is failed and the person's organ is totally failed. Okay, so what happened, the person has to remove his failed organ, malfunctioning organ, that is organ which is not functioning at all, and he has to transplant another healthy organ in him. Okay, so now you see, our body has an immune system. We all know what is immune system, right? Our body has an immune system. Whenever any outside microorganism enters our body, okay, whenever any outside, suppose for example you're outside and there's a lot of dust, and then dust goes in, and at times you start itching your eyes. Okay, then you feel sneezing. Why? Because something is trying to enter your body, but the nose and the ears, the eyes are not allowing. They are blocking. They're not allowed. What happens? The eyes, all these, defense system, they're blocking. They're not allowing outside any components or substances to enter into the body. All right. In the same way, our immune system. Okay, our immune system. We have different immune cells. You know what? You'll be studying your immunity in human health and disease. Very interesting portion. Very, very, very interesting portion. Okay, so what happens? Our body has a system called as immune system. And what does this system do? This system does not allow any foreign particles, any outside harmful microorganisms to enter. Okay, to enter, it will stop. It has different, checkpoints. Suppose a microorganism has come to the mouth and the saliva and all the pH of the saliva has stopped. Okay, so it's another microorganism. It could cross the saliva. It went inside the stomach. So again in the stomach it will be stopped. Okay, if it could not be stopped in the mouth. So there are various checkpoints. So what happens? Our immune system has got different type of cells. The most important immune cells of our body is white blood cells. Sorry, we don't call it cells. We call them as corpuscles. Please keep this in mind. It's very, it's very common that we all use this word cells, but actually we are supposed to use white blood corpuscles. Okay, because they're suspended in a fluid medium, that is blood, right? So white blood corpuscles, they are the most important immune cells. The white blood corpuscles produces different types of cells. Okay, B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, natural killer cells, okay, helper T cells, suppressive cells. So many cells are there. All these cells are nothing but WBC. They bring about immune response. They make our cells strong. Okay, so what happens? Now, imagine there's a bacteria and that enter your body. So when the bacteria enters your body, will not your immune cell fight with that bacteria? Okay, will not it fight with that bacteria so that you don't get the disease? In the same way, when a person is doing transplantation, his own kidney is removed and somebody else's kidney is being transplanted to him. The immune system of that patient will not know that, see, this patient's kidney is fault, so he's transplanting. No, immune system will not recognize that healthy organ. Okay, as soon as the healthy organ is transplanted into the patient, the immune system will work against that healthy organ and will say, see, this is not our organ. This is not our organ, take it off, this is not our organ, and they will try to harm the organ. Okay, is this clear? They will carry out something called as organ rejection. Okay, they'll carry out something called as organ rejection. So what happens as a result? The person's body will not accept that organ. Okay, will not accept that healthy organ. So if the person's body does not accept the healthy organ, the person will die. Correct? Because he really needs transplanted organ. Then the doctors, what they will do? They will use a type of drug. Okay, they will use a type of drug which is called as the immunosuppressive drug. What is this immunosuppressive drug? It does not allow the immune system to raise. It will suppress the immune system. It will bring down the immune system and tell, see, you are not supposed to recognize this self and non-self. Okay, you're not supposed to recognize, this particular kidney that has transplanted now, that has been transplanted, not supposed to attack on the kidney. Okay, so they will suppress the immune system. Okay, so those drugs are called as immunosuppressive drugs. Alright, so this is immunosuppressed. So once when the immunosuppressive drug is given to the patient's body will readily accept the new organ that was transplanted to him. Alright, okay. See, so after that the person can then, then after that the person's body get adjusted to the new organ and can function normally. But any person who has undergone transplantation have to take immunosuppressive drug for the rest of his life, so that at any point the immune system should not stand up and attack the transplanted organ. Right? Okay? Now see, you recognize your friends from far, correct? I recognize from my friends from far. Suppose, okay, there are many people here. There are many people in the class, and from far only you can recognize your friend. Why? Because she is your friend, he is your friend, correct? In the same way, my body's immune system recognizes every part of my body, recognizes every cell of my body, recognizes every molecule that is produced in my body as a self. Whenever my body is being attacked by microbes, whenever my body is being attacked by bacteria, whenever a person is getting the organs transplanted, the immune system recognizes it as non-self. So we have a very important property of immune system, recognizing of self and non-self. Okay? Now, what does this immunosuppressive drug do? It does not allow immune system to do this function of recognizing self and non-self. Right? So in case of transplantation that I told you, the kidney got transplanted to the person. Person took immunosuppressive drug, and the drug did not allow the immune system of that person to carry out this function. What is that? Recognizing self and non-self. As a result, the person's body could readily adapt to the new organ, and the body could function properly. This is immunosuppressive drug, cyclosporine. Okay. Now we are going to see the next bioactive molecule. Now we are going to study the third bioactive molecule, that is what? Statins. Okay, we are going to study statins. Statin is a bioactive molecule which is produced from, yes, Monascus purpureus. Okay, it is produced from Monascus purpureus. Okay, so now Monascus purpureus is also a fungus. Alright, Monascus purpureus is also a fungus, and basically this is a yeast. Alright, now what does this statins do? Important function, so important. It lowers the blood cholesterol level. It lowers the blood cholesterol level. Okay, now what is cholesterol? Where is cholesterol produced? Okay, cholesterol you have studied in biomolecules in the first year. Yes, we had a bit of cholesterol structure in the biomolecules chapter. Now that structure is very important for NEET. Very important. Diagrammatic question. Okay. Now cholesterol. Where is cholesterol produced? Cholesterol is produced in the liver. Okay. Cholesterol will be produced in the liver. Alright. Now see, HMG CoA reductase. Okay, this is the enzyme HMG-CoA. Okay, coenzyme A reductase is the enzyme which is responsible for production of cholesterol in the liver. Okay, so what does the statins do? Whenever there is an increased amount of, or the the amount of cholesterol in the blood is more. Okay, after a blood test is being done and the doctors detect a high cholesterol level in a person, that means what? The liver is synthesizing more cholesterol. So what we have to do is that we have to bring down the level of cholesterol. Right? For that we have to first stop the synthesis of cholesterol. Okay, we have to first stop the synthesis so that further cholesterol is not produced. So whatever is produced, that can be brought down. But first we have to stop the synthesis of cholesterol in the liver. So what they do is that statins affect or inhibit this enzyme and do not allow the cholesterol synthesis in the liver. Okay, what will statins do? Statins will inhibit HMG-CO or coenzyme A reductase and will inhibit the synthesis of cholesterol in the liver. Okay, thereby what? Thereby cutting down the synthesis of cholesterol, and as a result what happened? Decreasing the cholesterol concentration in the blood. Okay, so what is written in the NCERT? Statins, blood cholesterol lowering agents. Is this clear? So whenever there is any cholesterol related issues, okay, there be any cholesterol related issues, statins and any other bioreactive which is similar to statins are given to patients in order to bring down the level of cholesterol. Is this clear? Okay. Alright, so these are all the bioactive molecules. These are the 3 important bioactive molecules that you have to study. Okay, the important points, extra points also I have given. I'm sure you all have written down. Yes, I'm sure you all have written down. So next what we are going to study is sewage treatment plant. Every line of the sewage treatment plant is very important. Okay, alright, so we're going to go next to the sewage treatment plant. We are now going to do the sewage treatment plant. Before we do the sewage treatment plant, we have to try to understand what is sewage. See, when we talk about sewage, which is also called as municipal waste. Okay, it is also called as municipal waste. Now this municipal waste, from where and all it comes? See, household waste. Okay, household, or rather I'll just write household. Then from shops and all, sometimes we use water, right? We use, of course. Then restaurants. Okay, houses are included, residential areas. All these waste form what we call as the municipal waste or the sewage. Alright, now the sewage consists of organic matter. Alright, consists of organic matter. It consists of chemicals, many things it will be there. Many components, chemicals will be there, papers will be, so many things will be there. Sometimes, yes, of course, papers and all also are there. Organic waste plus microbes. Now, the microbes, of course, this organic waste that we have here, okay, it's polluted and it is mostly consist of mostly it is human excreta. But apart from human excreta, there are other components also included in the sewage. Okay, organic waste. Alright, come to microbes. What are these now? These microbes which are present in the sewage or the municipal waste are pathogenic microbes. Okay, what are pathogenic? That means what? Disease causing microbe. Okay, disease causing microbe. Please see here. Right? Understood, everyone? Now, whatever waste that is collected from all these areas, of course, contain waste. There are waste. They contain highly polluted chemicals, all sort of waste, excreta, everything. Now, we have to get rid of them. We cannot keep them at home, right? We get rid of them. So we have what? Drainage system. So what does this drainage system do? Will this drainage system from a household, bathroom waste, kitchen waste, okay, anywhere, will this drainage system take the waste water directly to the river or any open area where we can simply dump? No, we cannot do. These wastes are full of pathogenic microbes. There can be so many microbes that could cause lots and lots of diseases. Okay, lots and lots of diseases. So it's very important that, okay, it's very important that before we dump this waste, before we throw away this waste, okay, take it from the houses and dump it into dumping areas, what we have to do, we have to purify them. We have to detoxify them, bring down their pollution level, bring down their toxic level, make them less polluted. Okay, we have to make this waste what? Less polluted, and then dump it into rivers, river bodies or any dumping ground, so that when they are less polluted and we are dumping them, they will not cause much of harm. They will not cause harm. Why? Because we have treated this waste. We have treated this waste in a stepwise manner, and what we have done is that we have brought down their pollution level. We have made this waste less harmful, and then we have dumped it into river bodies or dumping ground areas. Okay, in that way what we are doing, we are not allowing our environment to get polluted. And where is this waste treated? These wastes are treated in specialized plants, okay, specialized areas called as sewage treatment plant or the STP. Okay, sewage treatment plant or the STP. The STP or the sewage treatment plant are areas. Okay, these are areas where all the waste water from all these areas are collected. Okay, from all these areas are collected. They are then, they are then purified in a stepwise manner. Many steps are there. They are then purified in a stepwise manner. And finally, after purification, they are released into the environment. Okay? Yes? Alright? So, this is the introduction. I hope you have written. Yes? Can see this? Yes, you can write this. Alright? Contains of organic waste. You can just copy this down. Okay. So, organic matter, polluted, these are all the polluted components, mostly consist of what? Human excreta, undigested water, a lot of waste water, everything will be there, kitchen waste, bathroom waste, house waste, restaurants, everything, anything, okay, all these are treated and then they are disposed of. Where they are treated? STPs, sewage treatment plant. Okay, so we are going to see now next the various steps of the sewage treatment plant. Now we are going to see the various steps of the sewage treatment plant. Let us see the steps first and then we go into the details in the steps. Okay. So let us see here first. Okay. So we'll see the steps of sewage treatment. First step. Preliminary treatment. Okay. Preliminary treatment. The second step is the physical or primary treatment. The third is biological or secondary treatment, and the fourth is tertiary treatment or the final treatment. Okay, so these are the various steps of the sewage treatment plant. See, here we have the first preliminary treatment. I'll explain you here. Now, preliminary treatment. This is the first stage. Okay, so here all the sewage are collected. They're collected from the houses, everywhere they are collected. Now, what happens? Preliminary treatment makes sure that whatever sewage is coming, and when it is being forwarded to the steps, the consecutive steps here, the sewage, whatever is present, it should not block the pipes. It should not create any kind of leakage or due to anything kind of leakage, or it should not block the pipe. It should not cause leakage. It should not spoil the plant. Okay, it should not release some harmful gases. So preliminary treatment basically makes sure that it is protecting the procedures of the STP that will be taking place. Okay, preliminary treatment makes sure that whatever substances are there, clogging substances, lot of cloth, anything, that will be removed. Okay, preliminary treatment, what it does is that it makes sure that it protects the the plant. It protects the procedures in the plant so that the sewage treatment can be carried out smoothly. So preliminary treatment is very important. Why? It makes sure that the steps, that the treatment process, the treatment procedure will be carried out without any obstruction. Once this is done, the sewage goes to the next, that is physical or primary treatment. Here basically it involves two processes: filtration and sedimentation. Okay, filtration and sedimentation. So what happens in filtration? Filtration and sedimentation, all the bigger components, wood, then sand, gravel, stones, everything is being separated in two steps. One is filtration, another one is sedimentation. Okay, then after this treatment is over, whatever is the effluent, it goes to the next biological or secondary treatment. It is called biological treatment because this particular steps involves the functioning of various aerobic and anaerobic bacteria. Okay, it involves this various steps of functioning of what? Various aerobic and anaerobic bacteria. The aerobic and anaerobic bacteria will function as different, in different units, and carry out the digestion of the waste, carry out the digestion of the organic waste. And finally, when the water becomes less polluted, it undergoes tertiary treatment. After the tertiary treatment, the water is finally released into the environment. Is this clear? Okay, so this was just an introduction to the various steps. Now see, very important when we talk about physical here, physical in the sense that we are talking about two processes: filtration and what? Sedimentation. We are filtering the component, and sedimentation is we are allowing the sand and gravel to settle. So what remains? Effluent, water, that goes for the secondary or the biological treatment. Why biological? Because here mostly and only microbes will function. Please write down whatever I am saying. Microbes will digest. In the biological treatment, what happens here? The microbes, they will digest the organic waste. Okay, microbes in the biological treatment, different microbes. What are the different microbes? Aerobic and anaerobic microbes will digest the organic waste. Once it digests the organic waste, what happens? Okay, and then finally what happens? It will make the waste less polluted. And then this waste will go for the tertiary treatment. Okay, we'll go for the tertiary treatment, and then finally it is released into the water bodies. See here, see students, one important thing here. Tertiary treatment, once the waste goes to the tertiary treatment, it is obvious that it becomes what? It becomes less polluted. If there are any toxic components, that has been digested. If there are any harmful chemicals, that also has been removed. So whenever the waste in the STP, goes to the tertiary treatment, it means that it is less polluted, and now it can be dumped into rivers, or it can be dumped into dumping grounds. Why? Because this waste is now what? It is safe. Very important, the waste is what? Safe. It does not contain harmful microorganisms. It does not contain, it does not contain chemicals. Another important aspect of STP. See here. STP, if it is set up in some sometimes, we have a big campus, anywhere, if it is set up, the water in the STP can be recycled. And the water can be used for watering the plants, washing the pavements, or any other washing. Okay, not for food purpose, but for washing pavements or washing cars or any other. That can be used. Water can be what? Recycled. Is this clear? Yes. Another important aspect of STP. See, from STP we also get biogas. From STP, when in the secondary treatment, when the microbes are digesting, they produce what? Gases. They'll produce gas. And that gas is what? Biogas. And we all know biogas can be used for what? Lighting, electricity. Yes? Yes or no? Burning purpose. Yes? Okay? Alright. So this was the introduction of the STP. Let us just revise once again. The first step is the preliminary treatment. The preliminary treatment makes sure that whatever waste is coming to the treatment plant, okay, they will separate the cloth and whatever harmful component they'll separate. They'll make sure that the process of sewage treatment will be carried out safely without any obstruction. Preliminary treatment makes sure that the waste that will go into STP does not contain anything that will block the pipes or that will obstruct the treatment process. Okay, then we come to the physical and the primary treatment, which includes two processes: filtration and sedimentation. Once filtration and sedimentation is done, whatever wastewater is remaining, that goes for the third process, biological treatment or secondary treatment. Why biological? Because this particular step will utilize aerobic and anaerobic microorganisms to do what? To digest the waste. Okay, to digest the waste and make the waste less harmful. Is this clear? Okay, so then after that, after when the microbes digest it, then they go to the last step, tertiary treatment. Once the tertiary treatment is done, after that it can be dumped into dumping areas or into rivers or recycling, and the water can be used for some purpose. What else do we get from the STP? Yes,